radio check, airfield information, and taxi, please.
Student Golf Bravo Sierra, Charlie Zulu, Blackbushe information, your readability 5. Taxi holding point Delta 1, runway 07 right hand circuit, QFE 1011.
QFE.
Runway 07 right hand circuit, QFE 1011. Taxi holding point Delta 1,
Right hand.
Golf Charlie Zulu.
7 right hand. Delta 1.
Golf Juliet Victor 5.
Golf Juliet Victor, South wind 0707 knots, runway 07, touch and go, your discretion.
Touch and go 07, Golf Juliet Victor.
This one just going, he's going to be backtracking, so let's not go yet, so wait a bit for him. 10, oh, I don't want Q&A, I want QFH. That's 13, 1024. And 1024 on the backup altimeter. 1024, 1024.
Golf Zulu Whiskey, downwind.
Golf Zulu Whiskey, report final.
Report final, Golf Zulu Whiskey.
Right. Transponders on standby. Blackbushe information, student Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie, request airfield information and taxi for VFR flight to Thruxton.
Student Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie, Blackbushe information, your readability 5. Taxi holding point Delta 1, runway 07 right hand circuit, QNH 1023.
07 right hand, hold Delta 1, QNH 1023, Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie. Zero two three. 1023. 1023. And taxi to Delta 1 for
Blackbushe information, good afternoon again, Golf Papa Delta Sierra India, just on 725 miles to the northwest for rejoin please, and
set it down to 1.
Golf Papa Delta Sierra India, Blackbushe Aviation, basic service, standby.
Nothing coming.
Golf Juliet Victor, downwind.
Golf Zulu Whiskey, runway 07, wind 090 degrees, 8 knots, touch and go, your discretion.
Golf Zulu Whiskey.
Golf Juliet Victor, on ahead, report final.
report final, Golf Zulu Victor.
Golf Sierra India, how many circuits do you require?
2 if possible please, Golf Juliet.
Golf Sierra India, roger, that's approved, runway 07 right hand circuit, QFE 1011, report entering the 80s edge circuit active 2 in.
Copy the 2 in, 1011, the QFE runway 07 right hand, okay, Golf Juliet.
What's doing his run-ups over there. So I better copy him and do my run-ups there as well. Right, time of blocks at 15:21.
Roger Victor, final.
Gotcha, Victor, wind 090 degrees, 8 knots, runway 07, touch and go, your discretion. Traffic entered the ATZ from the northwest, Cessna 172.
Roger Victor.
Gotcha, India is dead south.
Gotcha, India, squawk 7010, report downwind. Traffic Cessna 152, final touch
Here
and
he
go,
goes.
and 152 crosswind to the circuit.
7010 and copy to traffic, Gulf India.
Supposed to turn now. Turn mine over. Oh, no, he stops there. I'm not. Jesus. Where's it going? Yeah, sod it. Let's get around it.
Golf to the whiskey, downwind.
Golf City Whiskey, report final.
Report final, Golf to the whiskey.
Right, power checks. Send some cool air on in here.
Student Golf Bravo Sierra Charlie Zulu, holding Delta 1, ready for departure.
Opened up him, change the fuller tank, so change to the right tank. Right tank. T's and P's are in the
7010,
green.
short backtrack is fine.
RPM 2000, check the brakes are holding. 2000 RPM.
07 Golf Charlie Zulu.
Brakes holding. Copy on. Copy off. One to the left. Back to both. Two to the left. Back to both. Ammeters charging.
Golf Sierra
T's and
India
P's are within limits.
Contact on head.
Set to idle.
Touch and go, report final.
Okay, Gulf Sierra.
Now back to 1200. Pre-takeoff. Trim set for takeoff. Throttle is finger tight. Mixture's rich. Mags on both. Pitot heat not required. Primers in and locked. Fuel is on. Fuel pump on. No flaps required. Direction indicator matches compass. Harness is fastened and secured. Kirby
Taking off with Golf
doors
Charlie
and
Zulu.
windows are secured. Full and free
Golf Zulu, final.
movement. Transponder to alt, landing light on.
Roger Victor, downwind.
Victor, report final.
Let's get that line up.
Roger Victor.
Golf to the Whiskey, surface wind 090 degrees, 10 knots, runway 07, touch and go, your discretion.
Golf to the whiskey.
Delta 1.
Gulf Sierra India's finals runway 07, contact on Landaway.
Golf Sierra India, runway 07, wind 090 degrees, 10 knots, touch and go, your discretion.
Touch go, discretion, Gulf Sierra India.
Student Golf Alpha Charlie, ready for departure.
Golf Alpha Charlie, hold position, how much of a backtrack do you require?
Holding position about half the length of the runway, Golf Alpha Charlie.
Golf Alpha Charlie, thank you, hold position, clear back.
Holding Golf Alpha Charlie.
Golf Alpha Charlie, squawk 7010.
Squawking 7010, Golf Alpha Charlie.
Roger Victor, final.
Juliet Victor, wind 090 degrees, 10 knots, runway 07, touch and go, your discretion.
Roger, Victor.
Golf Charlie Zulu downwind.
Golf Charlie Zulu, report final.
Golf Charlie Zulu.
Golf Alpha Charlie, fire Delta 1, backtrack runway 07, report lined up.
Backtrack in and we'll report lined up, Golf Alpha Charlie. Runway's clear.
Golf Zulu Whiskey, downwind.
Backtracking.
Golf Zulu Whiskey, 1 ahead, touch and go, report final.
1 ahead, report final. Golf Zulu Whiskey.
Off the way down the runway. Over to the right.
Golf Alpha Charlie, runway 07, wind 070 degrees, 6 knots, take off at your discretion. The Cessna ahead is remaining in the circuit.
There's traffic taking off, Golf Alpha Charlie. P's and P's are in the green, full power, speed's alive, 50 knots, 60 knots, pull it back.
Austria New is downwind runway 07 flat.
Trip righty,
Okay, visual to head, Austria New.
10 degrees to the right, 700 feet, 800 feet,
Golf Charlie Zulu final.
Golf Charlie Zulu, runway 07, wind 070 degrees, 6 knots, touch and go, your discretion.
Golf Charlie Zulu.
feet,
Roger, Victor, downwind.
Golf Juliet Victor, report final, 3 ahead.
Roger, Victor.
Golf Alpha Charlie climbing to the overhead and we'll be departing to the west.
Golf Alpha Charlie, window.
Golf Zulu Whiskey final.
Golf Zulu Whiskey, one occupied, 1 ahead is here, touch and go.
1 ahead, touch and go. Golf Zulu Whiskey.
$1,700 feet, level off.
Golf Zulu Whiskey, runway 07, wind 070 degrees, 6 knots, touch and go, your discretion.
Time is 32. Things clear at 40.
Golf Juliet Victor, there's just becoming 1 ahead now, the 1 ahead is to land, report final.
Report final, Golf Juliet Victor.
Alright, first heading is 271. 250, 260, 217. Continue the climb. 271. 2000.
Austria News finals runway 07 flat.
Golf Zero India, runway 07, wind 070 degrees, 6 knots, landed to your discretion.
2300. Golf Alpha Charlie leaving the ATZ, changing to Farnborough 125.250.
Golf Alpha Charlie, score conspicuity, free call Farnborough, please.
Sport conspicuity, free call Farnborough, Golf Alpha Charlie. Sport 7,000, 2,300, level off.
Golf Juliet Victor, Roger, report downwind, we are 2 ahead.
Report downwind, Golf Juliet Victor.
Gross error check, right, there's Reading, there's Basingstoke.
That's Blackbushe Information. April 02, 5 miles to the northwest. Request airfield information for the checkup.
Switch to Farnborough, 2,300 feet, 125,250. Farnborough radar, student Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie, request basic service.
Delta Mike Delta Alpha Charlie, Farnborough radar, pass your message.
Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie, is a PA28, routing Blackbushe to Thruxton. Just departed Blackbushe at 2,200 feet, QNH 1023, request basic service.
Delta Alpha Charlie, Roger, Squawk 0430, basic service, QNH 1023, correct.
Squawk 0430, QNH 1023, basic service, Golf Alpha Charlie. There we go. Let's get back on track. 2,300 feet. Basic service 0430. Back on track. There's Aldermaston and there's Basingstoke. 2,300. It's dead on to me.
Farnborough radar November 605 Papa, following at 3,000. Good afternoon.
Number 605 Papa Alpha Farnborough radar, good afternoon. Maintain altitude 3,000 feet.
And we're looking for
Maintain 3,000 feet, November 605.
5 minutes to run. 2,300 feet. No other traffic. Reds are a little bit high, slow down a bit, 2,300. Basingstoke on the left. There's Aldermaston. Alright, where is Kingston? So past Aldermaston. Switch to COM 2 minutes, so fuel is on insufficient, fuel pump can go off, we'll leave the landing light on. Radio is tuned to Farnborough, T's and P's are in the green, compass is reading 300 and 300
November 605 Papa Alpha, climb down to altitude 5,000 feet.
Climb now to 5,000 feet, November 605 Papa.
Alright, compass doesn't quite match, let's set the compass due west.
November 624 Charlie Sierra, squawking 5224 for traffic service.
624 Charlie Sierra Farnborough radar, good afternoon, identified via handover, reset Squawk 0440, traffic service, QNH 1023.
Service Squawk 0440, QNH 1023,
4 Charlie Sierra, confirm your altitude.
2,500 feet, 1023, about to turn right.
Roger. And number 4 Charlie, so be advised at about 4 miles on that track to base control airspace will be 2,500 feet to remain below that level to remain outside control airspace.
There's the mast, okay, I'm off track by about 1 mile, so I'm going to go 30 degrees to the left for 1 minute. 10 minutes, so let's turn to the left. My compass is not quite
Number 5 Papa Alpha, contact London Control 134-4125.
240 for 1 minute, that'll get me to the mast.
Confirm?
KFM 134-125.
2,300 feet. Wait for the mast now for 1 minute. Right, got mast in sight. 2,300. No other traffic. There's King's Clear.
Farnborough, could you confirm London 134,135?
Back on the
Next is
track,
134.125.
134,125, so long.
This compass not aligned, there we go. Big points on west, there we go. King's Clear mast, 2,300 feet. And we're going to change to Boscombe zone and get a max penetration. I'll put on around the mast, so 40, dead on time. This is King's Clear. Estimate handover at 46. 200 feet. And we're turning on to 237. 235 is close enough. Down the mast. There's some smoke in the distance, that's possibly Andover, a bit of turbulence. 235. Wave the shot a bit. 235. Alright, there's Andover. Just gaining a bit of height. There's a little bit of height. 230, right, so fuel is on and sufficient on the right tank. Radio tunes back to change. T's and P's on the green. Match direction indicator matches compass. Yep, 230. Altitude 2,300 feet. Golf Alpha Charlie, request change to Boscombe zone 126.705.
Charlie Roger, Scott Conspicuity and 3 call Boscombe, bye bye.
Scott Conspicuity and 3 call Boscombe, Golf Alpha Charlie. Conspicuity, right, she's changed to COM 2. 126.705, let's maintain that heading there, is Andover. Boscombe zone, Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie, request basic service and max penetration. Say again, you're really quiet. Stand by, we change radios.
Roger, if I can get a straight approach to 7 at Blackbushe, I'm cleared through the Odeon map over.
Number 4 Charlie Sierra Roger, nothing of, you don't require a transit to go through the Odeon match, but as long as you remain outside the Odeon ATZ.
Charlie Sierra, yes, my Blackbushe 122.3, thank you.
126.705, 118.280, stand by. Boscombe zone, student Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie, request basic service and max penetration.
Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie, Boscombe zone, pass message.
Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie's PA28, routing Blackbushe to Thruxton, currently about 6 miles north of Andover. That's 2,200 feet, QNH 1023, request basic service and max penetration.
Golf Alpha Charlie, Squawk 2650, basic service.
Squawk 2650, basic service, Golf Alpha Charlie.
Golf Alpha Charlie, the Portland QNH 1018 report north of the Mandover, visual with Thruxton.
QNH 1018 report north of Andover, was that confirmed Golf Alpha Charlie?
Golf Alpha Charlie, it was north of Andover, visual with Thruxton.
North of Andover and visual with Thruxton, roger, Golf Alpha Charlie. QNH 1018, where the hell is Thruxton? Should be on the nose, follow the road out, and there it is, dead on the nose, 2,200 feet. Golf Alpha Charlie is visual with Thruxton and 1 mile north of Andover.
Golf Alpha Charlie, roger, squawk security and free call Thruxton 118.280. Good day.
Squawk security and free call Thruxton on 118.280. Thank you, Golf Alpha Charlie. Squawk security, change the radio to 118.280. Thruxton, where we've gone. Follow the road out. To the left. Thruxton radio, student Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie is 1 mile north of Andover, inbound.
Golf Mike Delta Alpha Charlie, Thruxton radio, very good afternoon. Runway 07 in use with a left-hand circuit, the QFB 1011.
07 left hand, QFB 1011, Golf Alpha Charlie.
Golf Alpha Charlie, there's no traffic to affect your join inbound.
We'll join downwind, Golf Alpha Charlie.
Roger.
QFB 1011. Right, it's descent. What the hell am I so high? It's carpet on and it's descent. Go over to the downwind. Not so high, am I? Oh, so fuel is on, fuel pump on, landing lights on. 1,000, let's go down to 800 feet on QFB. There's 07. Down to 800, so brakes off, undercarriage fixed, mixture's rich, propeller's fixed, fuel's insufficient, fuel pump is on, T's and P's are in the green, hatches and harnesses are secure, carpet on, carpet off, let's dodge these houses, we're coming onto the downwind. Coming inside the circuit, okay. Get down to 800 feet. Turning onto the downwind. Dodge that. Oh shit, dodge that house, bugger. Alright, downwind, runway 07, 800 feet, might go below it, 700 feet. Coming around. Static fail. 800 feet, it's good. Degrees about there, so turning base, carby on and around. Flaps 1, flaps 2, so nose down from 80 knots. Descending. Let's go downwind, there we go, unwind. A little bit higher. 80 knots. Golf Alpha Charlie, final 07.
Golf Alpha Charlie, roger, the wind 070 degrees, 10 knots.
Landing Golf Alpha Charlie. Full flaps, 10 to 70. Displace threshold. Slight crosswind. A little bit low, a little bit slow, power. Copy off. Sink. Bit of a balloon, up and down, right, gently, nice. Golf Alpha Charlie, backtracking, is that okay?
Golf Alpha Charlie A firm, nothing to affect, a 180 backtrack all the way to the apron.
Backtracking to apron, Golf Alpha Charlie. Okay, stupid thing to say. Request to backtrack might be a better thing to say. Mind. Here, it's down. Right, let's do some checks when I get off the runway this time. Brakes are good. Golf Alpha Charlie, vacated 07, where would you like me to park?
Golf Alpha Charlie, thank you. Do you require any fuel?
Negative, Golf Alpha Charlie.
Alpha Charlie, in that case, down the middle row then, it's next to the PA28 with the burgundy cover on, it'll be on your nose at the moment.
Middle row next to the PA28, Golf Alpha Charlie. Right, let's clean up first. So, landing light off, fuel pump off, flaps up, checklist, take off, after landing, carpet is cold, flaps are up, trim set neutral, throttle friction loosen, fuel pumps off, all essentials off, and continue to taxi. Check the brakes again, brakes are good. Taxi into the middle row. Wings are clear, and we're going in the little box. There's a box right next to that one. Let's go in there. And line up with the other chappie. 1200 RPM, parking brake on, shutdown checks, parking brake on, 1200 RPM for 30 seconds, check for dead cat, one to the left, back to both, two to the left, back to the both,